Welcome back to the next video in this series of the 3-step speaking sequence. So now we're going to talk about how you can, or actually should, really start speaking English. And I'm going to tell you who the group of people are that you should follow and model and do what they do as your examples if you want to start speaking English. And the group of people is what I call mavens. So if you want to learn to speak English, you need to model the mavens, the people who have learned a new language successfully. Now, the word maven comes from Hebrew, I understand, and it means seeker of knowledge, someone who seeks knowledge, seeks information, and is growing. But in English, we use the word maven to mean someone who has achieved the highest level of success or whatever is involved. So usually a maven is someone who is the best at what they do. So in this case, we're referring to the mavens as the top 4% of English students who learn to speak fluently. And in case you didn't guess already, these are polyglots, people who speak more than one language fluently. So if you've researched polyglots or seen their blogs, you know what I'm talking about. You have polyglots who have learned many languages who are called hyperglots, who people like Benny Lewis, the Irish polyglot, who's learned 7 or 8 languages. You can learn more about him at his website, Fluent in 3 Months. There's guys like Luca from the Polyglot Dream, Ellen Joven at ellenjoven.com, and Ollie Richards from I Will Teach You a Language. So if you want examples of polyglots, people that you should model to walk in their footsteps and do what they have done to learn to speak a new language, then these are the people you need to follow. These are the people that I follow. I haven't learned 7 or 8 languages. I speak English because it's my mother tongue. I've learned Portuguese, and I've studied a little bit of French and a teeny tiny little bit of German, but I'm nowhere near these guys. So if you really want to learn to successfully master a language, then these are the guys that you really want to watch and follow. Don't just do what they say, but do what they do. Watch their blogs, see how they learn a new language, see what they do. And the number one thing, I'll go ahead and give you their secret, is that most of them recommend, and what they actually do is start speaking from day one. That's actually Benny Lewis's big thing, is speaking from day one. You learn a little bit and you begin speaking. So I recommend that if you're serious about speaking fluent English, that you hang out with them and learn from them. Join their communities, their blogs, their forums, their sites, watch their videos, participate, comment, get involved with them, ask questions of your own. As you do that and get on their target. You could actually, maybe, if you're lucky, get to speak with them and have them as part of your Maven network, your personal English network. So that would be your ultimate goal, to have people like this who could mentor you and you could work with them to develop your English skills. So really, you build confidence through practice. Remember, we talked about learning to ride a bicycle by riding. We talked about learning to play the guitar by playing the guitar. We learned that you spoke as a child by speaking. And it's the same thing with English. You have to start speaking. I know it's scary. I know you have a lot of questions. You may be embarrassed of what people are going to think. You're afraid of making mistakes, but these are two giants that you have to face down and conquer and overcome if you want to learn to speak English. This is the most frustrating part for most students. They listen, they understand a lot, but they don't speak yet. They have underdeveloped speaking skills, even though their listening skills and their writing skills and reading skills are well developed. So if you watch the video that I sent out recently about Scott and Vat, who learned 4 languages in 1 year, what was their challenge? What did they recommend you do? Start speaking in that language. Make a commitment to speak only in the language you're learning every day. Because by speaking what you know, even though it's little, you're overlearning it. You're using those same basic words over and over, and it becomes automatic. And then you learn conversational workarounds. You learn how to say things, express yourself using the few words that you know. For example, hopefully this doesn't happen, but if your grandmother has hepatitis, but you don't know how to say grandmother, and you don't know how to say hepatitis, you could use other words to express yourself. So you could say, my mother's mother is sick. It's the same thing, you're just using words that you know. So the important thing here is that you just start speaking. Find people to speak with. Build your network. And remember that practice makes perfect and permanent. So as you begin to do it, you will become better. You will perfect your English and you will reinforce it. So don't worry, if you're just beginning and you have a lot of questions coming up soon, we're going to be launching our 30-day immersion course to help you overcome these problems, these questions you have, like where to find partners and tutors. What are you going to talk to them about? How are you going to learn what you need if you don't know it yet? And how are you going to practice that before you start speaking? And then even once you start speaking, how do you evolve your fluency? So all that's coming up soon. In the next video in this series, we're going to talk about what you need to start doing today. And after that, I'm going to tell you all about the 3-step speaking sequence before I tell you what your mission is. All right? So see you in the next video.